Have you ever trusted someone so completely you'd never imagine they could harm you, let alone take your life? In today's video, we're diving into the chilling true story of Dr. Harold Shipman, a man who wore the mask of a kind, dedicated family doctor while secretly becoming the most prolific serial killer in modern British history. This isn't just a crime story, it's a deeply disturbing tale of betrayal, systemic failure, and how one man exploited absolute trust in the medical profession to commit mass murder over the span of nearly 3 decades. Harold Shipman was born in 1946 in Nottingham, England, and by all outward appearances, lived a respectable life. He qualified as a doctor in 1970 and began working in small towns across England. But behind his calm demeanor and confident presence lay something much darker. Early in his career, he was caught forging prescriptions to feed a personal addiction to pethidine, a powerful opioid. But despite being fined and reprimanded, he was astonishingly allowed to return to practice. What followed was a chilling campaign of medically disguised murders. Shipman began systematically killing mostly elderly female patients, often those who lived alone or were socially isolated. He used fatal doses of diamorphine, medical heroin, and skillfully covered his tracks by altering medical records and persuading families not to seek postmortems. What's especially disturbing is how long he got away with it. Shipman murdered quietly and efficiently, and no one suspected a thing. Over 20 years, he signed his own patients' death certificates, consistently citing natural causes such as stroke, heart failure, or old age. He was often the only medical witness and rarely challenged by colleagues or coroners. He even convinced families to opt for cremation, destroying the physical evidence of his crimes. His charm and professionalism disarmed suspicion, while systemic oversight failures let him operate in plain sight. Even when some local undertakers and doctors grew uneasy with the unusually high number of deaths linked to him, no formal investigation was launched, highlighting severe flaws in how medical professionals were regulated at the time. The facade finally collapsed in 1998 with the murder of Kathleen Grundy, a healthy and active 81-year-old former mayor of Hyde. Unlike most of his victims, Shipman made a fatal mistake. He forged a will, leaving her entire estate, valued at over £350,000, to himself. Kathleen's daughter, Angela Woodruff, a solicitor, was immediately suspicious. She knew her mother wouldn't have left such a document unsigned and grammatically sloppy. She contacted the police. This single act triggered an investigation that would eventually unearth a horrifying truth. Kathleen's body was exhumed, and toxicology tests confirmed a lethal dose of diamorphine. When detectives raided Shipman's office, they found forged documents, altered patient records, and a typewriter that matched the fake will. Authorities soon linked him to dozens of other suspicious deaths. In January 2000, Harold Shipman was convicted of 15 counts of murder and 1 count of forgery. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, but a public inquiry, led by Dame Janet Smith, later concluded that Shipman had likely killed at least 215 patients, possibly more than 250, making him one of the most lethal serial killers in recorded history. The inquiry also exposed critical weaknesses in Britain's healthcare system and death certification process. As a result, the UK government introduced sweeping reforms, including tighter controls over prescribing narcotics, mandatory revalidation for doctors, and stricter protocols for certifying deaths. Shipman never admitted guilt. He refused to cooperate with psychiatrists or investigators and never offered explanations or apologies to the families of his victims. In 2004, he was found dead in his prison cell at Wakefield Prison, having taken his own life by hanging 1 day before his 58th birthday. His suicide robbed many families of the chance for full closure, but his crimes left a permanent mark on the UK's medical and legal landscape. This case is not just about one man's evil, it's a stark warning about the dangers of blind trust in authority and how critical oversight is in even the most respected professions. So stay with me as we unpack how Harold Shipman got away with mass murder for decades, what might have driven him, and how the horrifying truth finally came to light. Thanks for watching.